Hello, MavMind Collective, and welcome to another episode of the HypnoSales Show. Today, we're going to be talking about understanding the HypnoSales contract. So, if you've had other sales training like I have, you probably have heard of this idea of getting a contract with the customer or the prospect. Usually, it's like an upfront contract or a contract that you're getting agreement on before you start a meeting, before you proceed, etc. That's not what I'm talking about today. That is a different type of a contract, and I have other videos where I talk about the HypnoSales version of that, or the MavMind method version, like how I've done those kinds of things. I've had different trainings. I've learned about the different ways to set a contract with a customer, and it's basically, you're dictating, here's the outcome, the desired outcome we want, and we agree at the beginning where we want to go and what we're going to do at the end of the meeting. If it goes good, we'll go one way. If it goes not so good, we'll choose to depart ways or whatever, something like that. Something along those lines. That's getting a contract for how you're going to behave. I talk about it in the sense of meta expectations and doing it that way because I've learned there's a few elements there from the subconscious selling perspective that I always want to incorporate to make it more effective to do that type of contract setting up front and agreement up front, to make sure that the customer has the smoothest, most wonderful journey ever in their life. That's what I want. That's my intention. That's not what I'm talking about here. That's a different kind of contract. This is what I call the HypnoSales contract. And the reason I call it HypnoSales contract is because I'm kind of stealing it from what I know about hypnosis and the process of hypnotizing someone to overcome a bad habit or a fear, or just basically to transform a belief or change a belief in their life and change a way they're behaving to a new behavior. Typically, hypnosis is used clinically and therapeutically to help people change from one behavior to another. They have a bad habit behavior, or they're thinking negatively, or they're stressed out, they're sabotaging themselves. There's all kinds of reasons why you could have habits and bad behaviors that you want to change to a good behavior, a positive behavior. You want to stop procrastinating and actually start taking action more. Stop being distracted and start focusing more. Stop being so stressed and just relax and just go with the flow. It could be like those kind of things. And when you're doing that in a hypnotic, therapeutic type of setting like that, when someone's coming to you as a hypnotist, asking you for this type of help, there's two things you have to ask for and get agreement on before the hypnosis will even take effect. And it's known as the hypnotic contract. The hypnotic contract is the client agreeing to these two things. So the first thing they have to agree to is they have to agree to be hypnotized. They have to affirmatively acknowledge to you, yes, I want to be hypnotized. So you have to ask them, do you want to be hypnotized? They have to say, yes, I do. So they have to acknowledge that. So subconsciously, they get that alignment in their own subconscious that they're going to allow themselves to be hypnotized. Because you really can't, as a hypnotist, I can't just force someone to be hypnotized. I can't just hypnotize somebody and force it, okay? If you have to let someone allow themselves to be hypnotized. So that's why you ask that question. Do you want to be hypnotized? Yes, I do. Okay, so now they agree and allow themselves to be hypnotized. The second question you have to ask is, okay, do you want me to be the one to hypnotize you in this case? Because again, the subconscious won't assume it's you. They're just agreeing to be hypnotized, but it could be anyone, or it could be I don't know who it's going to be until they agree to somebody hypnotize them. So you have to ask that second question. Okay, and do you want me to be the one to hypnotize you? And they have to say, yes, I want you to be hypnotized. Okay, you want to be hypnotized, you want me to do it, let's get started. And then you start. Now, guess what? They're already halfway to being hypnotized already, because they've agreed and allow themselves to be hypnotized, and they want you to do it. Okay, so now they're at a subconscious level that they're not even aware of. They're allowing themselves to already go into a hypnotic state. So now as a hypnotist, I just continue the process, and I deepen them, and I control it more, and I just give them the commands and help them to go deeper and allow themselves to go deeper into hypnosis. Okay, that's the process. And then of course, when I'm done, I give them the commands that they wanted to transform the belief, and then I count what's called counting them back out. I bring them back out of hypnosis, back to normal conscious state. Okay, that's what I do as a hypnotist. That's what I'm trained to do. But it doesn't work until I get those two questions answered affirmatively before I start. So I've taken that idea now and I've moved it over into the business world, into meetings with potential prospects or clients or customers. And I use the same idea, except I'm not going to hypnotize them. I'm not going to ask them, do you want to be hypnotized? Because that's not why they're coming to me. But if you think about it, what are they coming to you for? Like, what are they coming to you? Why are they reaching out to you, right? It's because they're interested in your product or service, and they know you're the one that has all the answers. So they want the answers to all their questions so they can allow themselves to decide to buy your product. So it's very much parallel to someone wanting to be hypnotized. You have to get them to agree to be hypnotized and for you to do it so they can allow themselves to be hypnotized so it'll already start working. So when they're coming to you, they're wanting you to sell them the product, basically. Answer their questions, show them the value. That's what they're wanting from you. And you have to get them to agree to allow that to happen in their subconscious. And they have to agree that you're the one that's gonna do it too. Right? So I just take those two elements. So the first thing is you ask them, do you want let's say I'll just put see the value. Do you want to see the value in my product? Okay, so that's a question, right? Do you want to see the value, or do you want to get your questions answered? I'm sorry, get your questions answered. Right? Get your questions answered, right? Because that's what they're wanting. So you get them to explicitly say, yes, I do. I want to get my questions answered. I want to see the value in your product. I want to understand the differences between how your product compares. So you might have that. Do you want to see the differences between our product and how it's better than other products? Whatever phrase you want, you can even do them all together. Do you want to see the value, see the differences? Do you want, and then you can even say like I do, you want me to, want to be sold on this product? Do you want to be like sold on the idea that this is the product for you? Like whatever. You can be as explicit or as generic as you want. But the idea is it's basically listing out a question. What do you want? And asking them if they want that. And they have to say yes to it. That's the first part. And then you say, and then do you want me to do that? In other words, do you want me to be the one that shows you the value? Do you want me to be the one that helps answer your questions? Do you want me to be the one that sells this to you? Because I am a salesman, I'm an account exec. Do you want me to be the one that sells this to you? You could even say it like that. Now, no one likes to be sold to, but if you say it like that after you've asked them this first question, they kind of know what you mean. At a subconscious level, they understand it's not the same thing as being sold to, because none of us are really sold to. We allowed ourselves to be sold. We sell to ourselves, ultimately. And subconsciously, we all know that. So when you say it in these two questions in this order, do you want to see the value in the product, and do you want me to show you the value in the product and sell this to you? Do you agree that I'm the salesperson that's going to do this and help you make that decision to buy our product or not? Do you agree to that? And they agree to that. Now they've basically adhered to the HypnoSales contract. And that's why I'm bringing this to your attention, because I use this in order to get them to subconsciously already kind of thinking about the value and seeing the value and seeing that I am the one bringing them value in my product, even before we start, right? And I use the other types of contract setting to govern the different specific meetings that I'm having, or the demo meetings, or the discovery meetings, the different types of meetings and engagements I'm having. But I do this up front because I want them to already be seeing value in me as the person assisting them with what they really want, and I get them to subconsciously start allowing themselves to be sold, to sell themselves, to see that there's value in there. Plus, I'm also embedding commands. I don't know if you noticed that in my other previous video, I talked about embedding commands. When I'm asking them, do you want to see value in my product now? I'll embed a command in there and persuade them to get that into their subconscious as well. And now they're allowing themselves to be sold, they're allowing themselves to see value, and it's up to them then to decide how much further they want to go. But I'm already halfway there or more to getting them to agree that my product and my service is likely the best product or service for them. And they're feeling more comfortable with me as the salesperson and with the process that I'm bringing them through, the journey that I'm bringing them through. And as long as I continue to persuade that journey and lay out that journey and make that journey as best as I can for them, they're likely to have a great experience, and to, at the end, be able to say, I really like your product, but I like you, I like this process, I'm comfortable with everything, and I want to keep going. And then you have upgrade potential, and then you end up having a customer for life. Loyalty, you start to build loyalty with them because of that agreement that you had up front with, is, do you want to see the value in my product now? And do you want me to be the one to show you that value and answer your questions and help you make a decision? And if they say yes to both of those, you're more than halfway there to winning a new customer. Thank you for watching. I know you find value in these videos, didn't you? So if you, like me, are in a customer-facing role, I'm wondering if you want to watch another video now designed to help you get better at what you do every day. Or not. You don't have to watch another video if you don't want to.